Today, let's talk about two of my favorite topics, clarity and disruption. Now I know at first these seem like mismatched topics, but in actuality, they're extremely dependent on each other. Now I think it's safe to assume that all of us want greater clarity in almost every part of our lives. However, the only way that we truly achieve that clarity is through a disruption to our well-established routines, to our ideas, or the assumptions that we've made about how the world does and is supposed to work. I mean, just take a second and think about a significant moment in your life where you gain greater clarity on a particular situation or a problem that needed to be solved. Did that come about without a significant change in one of the areas that I just mentioned above? Of course not. Because our well-established patterns, routines, and ideas, while they may be beneficial at first, they eventually lead to complacency. And the definition of complacency, I mean, at least according to dictionary.com, is a feeling of quiet pleasure or security, often while unaware of some potential danger, defect, or the like. So with that in mind, I want to share 3 things that we must do in order to gain greater clarity more consistently. Number 1, we need to recognize that clarity is about sight. In other words, clarity is about vision. Think about it. You can't clearly feel your way through a dark tunnel. I mean, having greater clarity means we can see where we are going and what potential obstacles and pitfalls may cause problems as we move forward. You see, it allows us to make better and more informed decisions about our next steps. Number 2, we must understand that disruption is not only necessary for greater clarity, but it is essential for long-term sustainable growth. Think about the boom in fitness regimes and philosophies just in the last 10 years. Things like CrossFit, P90X, Insanity, and I'm sure there are many others that fit this description. But my point is that all of them have one thing in common, and that is to disrupt the body's normal regime by throwing in unexpected changes and levels of intensity, thereby forcing the body to adapt and get stronger. Number 3, we must recognize that disruption can be both accidental and intentional. Now, by accidental, I'm simply referring to outside forces that you've unintentionally collided with. And this is the experience that most of us have. See, we solely equate disruption with the unexpected. However, disruption can also be an intentional act that you bring upon yourself. In particular, being intentional about challenging those things that may be keeping you in the proverbial dark tunnel, such as your mindset, or assumptions, biases, and beliefs about what's possible. So all that being said, you have 2 ways to move forward. The first is slowly, cautiously, and nervously, SCN. And this is what happens if you're trying to feel your way through the dark. The second is clearly, quickly, and confidently, CQC. And this is what happens when your path ahead is well lit. As always, thank you for watching. Please leave a comment down below or send your responses by replying to this email. Also, please share this on social media or send the URL to someone who you feel could greatly benefit from this video. All right, I look forward to seeing you next week.